Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Good evening, Mark.
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic and amazing, heading towards phenomenal. I learned that somewhere.
That's what I like to hear.
Anyway, nice to see you. Nice to talk to you. So anyway, we're going to get right to this tonight. We have a few things to cover, some exciting news, and so let's just get right to the topic. You know, Mark, I don't care what company you belong to. You need to find a way to tell people you're in business. Marketing is what you do to get your information in front of people, and sales is what you do when you get there. Most people don't like sales, but if they learned how to get the information in front of people, things would be different. Of course, then they have to learn how to communicate what it is they're supposed to do when a person responds to their advertising or their marketing. And of course, that's where the class comes in, and we're excited about that. We have some announcements to make about that as well, but that's the bottom line. It's not that difficult. The process is simple. The difficult part, I should say, is getting your mind in gear to have the willingness to learn, because most people in business fail. Why? Because they don't know. That's really the bottom line. They're undercapitalized, they're not organized, and they don't know how to run a business, period. That's why most entrepreneurs fail at business. And then the numbers in network marketing is even greater than the average storefront business. So the failure rate is higher. And again, that's due to the fact that so many people come into these types of companies hoping that something's going to happen and hoping someone else does it for them, or someone made it sound easy. And the truth is, what's easy is signing a piece of paper that says, I'll join your company. What becomes more difficult is telling that person what to do. And most people in this industry don't know what to tell people to do except make phone calls, put some information out there, and hope that somebody says yes. So it doesn't work that way. You and I both know after all these years, that process has been a failure for 50 years.
Well, you know, Joe, I was on a call with a so-called guru, and one of the things that he said was that a lot of people fail because when they come, just because you put up a website doesn't mean that you're going to succeed. And he said that because a lot of people, they don't have a system of advertising or marketing to get their business. And as we've always said, that marketing is what you do to get your information in front of people. And when somebody comes into the business, they have to have a system to operate on to know where they're going. And that's where this system, as well as the communication class, plays that very important part. It's so important.
I have a very exciting piece of news that is not in stone yet, but a possibility regarding the class. And some people, and I'm going to make that announcement before we go tonight, but just keep in tune here and listen up, because this is important, especially for those who have not taken the class. They should listen up, because there's going to be some changes regarding how to take that class, how you're going to get it, and what you're going to pay for it. Those of you that have already taken it will be excited to know that there is something in it for them. So anyway, let's get back to marketing. Let's get back to this. What is a marketing tool? What it's supposed to do? Well, in our business, we have what is known as a contact manager. So let's just call it that for the moment. Contact manager, managing your contacts. We know this in business, you have to find people who are interested in coming to your store, so to speak. That's what we have to. What is our store? Our store is finding people that are interested in managing a business from home. Now, certainly we want people to buy the product. Those who come into your organization, regardless of what company it is, we want them as affiliates, but they're going to buy the product. At least they should. That's where your customer base comes from, part of it. And then another part of it is finding people that are just interested in your product and they want to use your product. And I know this. I've spent 22 years here, and I don't know many people who just come in and say, I'm going to find all these customers like a storefront business and expect to make a large income from that with people just coming to your store every month and buying. It just doesn't work that way. We don't have that kind of exposure. And but you do need customers. So there are two elements here, two things you need to do in a marketing tool. So let's go up to the marketing tool we use is called ToolsRock. Everybody knows that. They continue to make enhancements. One that's coming is just phenomenal. Nobody has what they're about to have. In fact, they've already got it in play. We're working on it with them now. But the first thing you have to realize is you need a website to say, this is what I have. And if you're out there, you should be spending 90% of your time looking for new affiliates, looking for new people who want a successful business from home. That's what you want. You want to be able to say, you want to be able to tell people what you have and find the interested party, not just in the product, but in people who want to learn how to be successful working from home. So you have to be able to have a website that goes out and finds those people. Your corporate websites, company websites, don't do that. They are more geared to your product and showing what the product. If you're in the nutritional field, you'll notice your home pages of your company website is all about product. Yes, it'll have a section about joining with them, but most of it is geared to explain what the product is and what the company's about. That is not the way to find the interested parties in managing a business from home. You need a website that tells them about the product and also makes an offer to them about joining the company itself as an affiliate and give them a choice, be a customer or be an affiliate. So with ToolsRock, we've built custom websites. They have generic ones, but we built custom websites that we send to people so that they fill out what is known as a capture page or capture area, and then we know that they've been there. Recently, over the last 6 months, ToolsRock has added another feature that every time they click on another topic on your website after they filled out the capture page, you get an email telling you now they're at this page, now they're at this page, now they're at this page. So we know what progress they're making. So the question is, who do I send this to? How can I effectively manage this? It was very clear to me this week that even seasoned people didn't truly understand how to operate this. So let's take the two areas that you will market to. Once again, keeping in mind that you're looking for people who want to manage a business from home. So there are two markets to go after. One is people you know, and the other one is people you don't know. Now, let's break down the people you know into really people that you really know, that you grew up with, and maybe high school friends you're still in touch with. Are they really the market for finding the people that want to work with you and manage? No, they're not really the people. You rarely will you find a family member, a cousin, a schoolmate. If you have a really good friend, I know Mark has two really good friends that they work together. Over the years, they've worked together, and they can bring a product or a company to each other, and they will work together. They join their companies together. Now, that's pretty rare. And they're best of friends. And so in most cases, you hear people say, Mark, that, no, my friends run from me. I brought them so many things. And probably because they introduced it in the wrong way. And that's not their fault, because that's what they were taught. A person can only go as far as they're taught. So we were taught to make lists of everybody you know and go after them and go show them and tell them and get them all interested. And we're not looking to do that. But that doesn't mean you don't talk to those people. That doesn't mean you don't market to those people. So in ToolsRock, we do have a website for my family and friends. And what that really does is it introduces people that you know to what you are doing. Not so much, join me, be with me, I'm looking for you to be my partner. What it does is it tells them, I'm in business. I wanted to show you our product. This is what our product does. I'd like you to be a customer of mine, and so on. And by the way, if you wanted to talk to me about an affiliate, that's fine. But I wanted to show you what we have. It would be the same as if you opened a local drugstore. You would want everybody to know. You would say to every one of them, look, everybody, I own this drugstore now, and I'd like you to come check it out. I'm not asking you to be my partner. I'm asking you to look at the products and service I have, and when you need something, would you consider my business? That's the approach. That's the thinking. Terminology that you use will create a perception. If those people think that every time they walk in your store, you're going to hound them to be their partner when they don't want to own a business, you're not even going to have them come to your store. They'll go to another store. So be careful in the selection of material, the dialogue that you use when you're talking to certain groups. So that group, if you had a marketing tool like Tools Rock, you could use an automatic invitation sender, let's call it. Now, I know you know it as an autoresponder, but that to me is a horrible word. It doesn't give you the right explanation or perception of what it really is. A contact manager is a place where you put all the names of people in, and then those names are managed by the system and you can decide what information you send. So you create categories of people. So you would create a category in the contact area and say, in this category, I want to list all of my friends. And you call that category My Friends. And you can add all of your friends and the email address for everybody you know. And then say, okay, they're in the contact manager. What do I do with them now? Well, if you had something like, or you did have the Friends and Family website, you could then select that particular automatic invitation letter sender to those people, click a button, and automatically send them 10 letters across 30 days, inviting them to look at your products. They would be in there, and the only way they're going to come out is 3 ways. You take them out, they take themselves out, or the autoresponder or invitation letters stop in 30 days. There's only 10 in there, so you would stop those. It would stop automatically. So that gives 30 days of telling the people you know what it is you have. Not expecting anything, just hoping that maybe you'd grab a couple of those as consistent buyers of your product or service. Average person in our industry only has about 3 customers. It's actually 2 point something. That's all they have. Some people have 10, 20, and 30. They don't make a living just by getting the customers like that. They get affiliates who become customers, who find customers and other affiliates. That's how that grows. But as far as you're concerned, you should be looking to have 4 or 5 customers. And that's the way you do it. Everybody you know, they go into the section called My Friends in that category, and you look in that section and say, okay, I'm going to send this particular website to them, and you send them the Friends and Family website. Now on there, of course, there's a capture page. If they want to learn more after seeing the initial introduction, they fill it out, and now it stops the invitation letters and has what are called follow-up letters now, because they filled something out and said, hey, I'd like to learn more. So now they're going to get follow-up letters that say, okay, now look at this. Okay, now look at this. Watch this website. Watch this little video. And it will inform them automatically because they responded and said, yes, I want more. Otherwise, the invitation letters continue to go, and you invite them to click on and fill out that information and go to the website. So that's the 2 elements of the site. And that's the one group that you must categorize and say, I'm going to send this information to them. Now, what else do? You call them on a kind of a, regular or irregular basis, and call them and say, hey, did you get my website? Just checking, making sure you understand what it is that you see in my store. Maybe you're interested in purchasing X, Y, and Z, and I'm here to help you if you need to. Whatever I can't answer, I have people around me that can, but I'm excited because this is the business I'm in, and I really wanted you to know, and hopefully if you need this product or service, you will think of me as well. That's the approach you have. There's no other way to conduct that. You go chasing those people around to try to make sure, yeah, but you don't understand. You should come into my business. We're going to make money, when you know darn right well you're not making money yourself or enough, hoping they will, and they sense that. So that's part one of what you do and how you manage. Now, let me just expand on that a little bit. Let's assume that those people got invitation letters across 30 days and the letters now stop. You have to look, you're operating the management system, but now you have to control it. You go in there and you see, it stopped. You go to that category, you pull up all the friends in that category, say, what's going on with the letters that they're automatically going out and inviting them? What do I do? Well, you go in and you look at it and you say, Mary Jones, she's gotten all 10 letters and now the autoresponder stopped. So she's not getting any more. Logically, ask yourself this question. What do you do with Mary now? Stop and say, well, she didn't want it for 30 days. I guess she'll never buy. She'll never be interested. I guess I should stop. No, you restart that autoresponder and maybe with the same thing again, or you create some more letters. Maybe you send her to a different website, but you don't stop. You continue on with another campaign for 30 days. I haven't purchased from JCPenney's for 12 years. I get an email from them all the time. They haven't forgotten about me. They know one day I'll pass one of the stores and maybe I'll need something and I'll jump in there. It doesn't take much to keep me in the system and keep sending me emails, hoping that one day I'm going to purchase something. So keep that in mind. Once it runs out, you must control, operate, manage that system and know what's going on. Keep notes. Remember, the second biggest reason for failure in business is poor record keeping, lack of organization. So make a note, have in your notebook and in your daily planner when you should be following up on groups of people that are receiving the first set of emails or the 10th set. And keep going and keep putting them in so that you only do that action one time, and for 30 more days, those people are getting an email again. Then you look in to see every day who filled out that capture page. You're supposed to get an email, but if you don't, go in every morning, go to that category or go to a category search and go see people who filled out, they call it a hot lead in our system, and see who filled out the information and requested more information. What happens then? You call them. You manage this again. You call them and say, I noticed that you filled something out. I was here to, answer any questions for you, and so on. So that's what you would do with the friends part. Now, the basic part of people you don't know is the same, except you may buy the leads. You may have met people throughout the industry over the years and have a database that you want to send them invitations to join you in this venture. You would not send them the friends and family website. That's more geared to friends, family, and product. But you would send them a marketing site that explains the business, what the business is, what we're looking for in a business. And once again, you would put those people in a contact manager. If you had them in a database and had to put them in, you would do that. If you bought the leads and had them placed in there, once again, they're in a control area where you see all of the people, but you can segregate them. Suppose you bought leads from XYZ company, you bought leads from ABC company. They would all be listed in categories. So if you wanted to search on all the people that were in the ABC company that you purchased those leads from, called ABC, then you would go to the category, click on search, and you would say, let me look up the ABC people, and you click a button, and out of maybe 1,000 people that are in your database, only 250 are from the ABC company. You click it on, you see them all, and then you can see what's happening, how many letters they received. Are they on the second letter, the third letter? All of them will probably be different if they go in at different times. But once again, the process is the same. If you want to see how many of those people went to the website and filled something out, again, there's a category for that in the hot lead area. Category search, you check out the hot leads for that particular website, and you can see And again, that would take a phone call. But Mark, you and I know the stumbling part, that part, what I just explained, is easy to understand. It's easy to do. Now, if there's any questions about that so far, then type them in there and let me know. I'm looking at the back office at the moment. I can see those questions. So, but Mark, you and I both know the trouble comes about when that person has to pick up the phone call now and say, oh my gosh, somebody filled something out. Now what do I do? Now, I know that everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, you just have to know how to communicate to do it properly. That's the key point. And you know, once you learn that, then a lot of that fear goes away, because you have the confidence that you can handle whatever questions comes up, and you know, and what's asked of you and about you and your company and all those things. You have to know how to properly answer those.
We just had a guy who's been at the Breakfast Club for 2 years. I'm not going to mention his name. He always listens to the replays. But he's been 2 years. I've known his name there for 2 years. I think we might have talked a few times in the past, and he's heard us talk about the class for years, 2 years. And he called me the other day. He happens to have over 4,000 people in his organization, and he still doesn't have the knowledge of what to do with those people when they come aboard. I know that's a familiar sound, and if it's not for you, it certainly is for your upline. If you don't have enough people that you haven't experienced that yet, you will. And so he finally said to me, and last week we had Cindy Valentine on, and she explained her experience after years of networking and so on, and then finally took the class, and then things turned around. And she said, oh my gosh, I see now, and I'll get more and more confidence as we go along. It's not take the class and you're a genius. It's take the class, study, work, and use and utilize the information. So when this guy took the class, we talked afterwards, and he was just so disappointed that he didn't take it 2 years ago. And fortunately, he took it before this price is about to change, which is what we're going to talk about. But you're welcome, Vicki. Vicki and I have been going over this contact matter. I have to thank you, Vicki, for going over this with me yesterday to be able to explain this a little bit differently. She prompted me to do that when we discovered, and she's pretty good on the computer and so on, but there were a few little things that she wasn't getting, and it's just due to experience and a little bit more, and she works a full-time job, and so we worked on this, and I could see the areas that needed explaining. I could see that they understood certain things and didn't understand other things. And so what we have to understand, I'll talk the basics we talked yesterday. When a person, let's say they join ToolsRock, the first thing they need to do, this is the steps to our business. You join the company that you're with, regardless of who it is. You then join ToolsRock. It's $19.99 for the very low subscription, which allows you to get started and gets you acclimated to the system. That's the contact manager, the things we just talked about. And websites are in there, not only generic that the company created, but specific ones for our companies. So you joined your company, you join ToolsRock, you commit to purchasing the product in the company you're in, and you take this class. They're the first 4 steps we teach everybody. And once you take the class, the light bulb goes on and says, oh my gosh, I should have done this before. We know that. Happens to everybody. Now, once you join ToolsRock, to get your marketing sites, you've got to understand how that works, what a marketing site does, the elements of it. So you join the ToolsRock, and now you must decide what websites you are going to use to go out and announce your business, whether it's friends or whether it's people you know or people you don't know. You must decide. However, those websites, let's use the word, have to be unlocked, meaning that you joined Tools Rock, but right now the websites that we use and have created are not linked to you yet. You must link those websites to yourself so that they are replicated and personally attached to you. So in my case, I would have to unlock a couple of websites I want to use. My username is always Joe Shoop. So I would go into my contact manager, I would go into websites, unlock the custom sites, and I would then proceed to follow the directions in the training room to unlock the site, or let's use a different word, attach the site to me so that when I send it to somebody, my name appears on that website. So that's how that's why you unlock. In other words, I guess that's not really a good word. I know that's what we use, but the real word is that we attach the websites to ourselves. We personalize the website so that it's attached to us and our information is on each website. Now, once you personalize them and you have your website or sites, you must then select categories of people you're going to send them to. So you create in your own mind what categories. Well, there might be people that you meet all the time when you go to the bank. So you would go to an area where you create categories and you go, okay, I'm going to create a category. I'm going to call it people I meet at the bank. Or you could generalize it and say people I meet when I'm out shopping or doing errands, whatever. And you label that, you put it in so that in your back office, you have an area to go to look up those specific people and see what activity is present. So you could create 100 categories if you want. People you buy leads from, or company ABC or ABC lead company, XYZ lead company. You could say people I know from networking. You could say friends and family and have all those categories. And when you added each person to your contact manager, you would select the category you want them in so that when you want to look up a certain group, you could do it. That's the value of it. Otherwise, they're all going to be lumped together. And if you had 1,000 people in there, you would have to go search out their name, try to remember all their names to search them out. Otherwise, you could just click on people I know from networking, push that button, and they'd all appear. Out of 1,000, you might have 100. And you say, there's the 100 people I know from networking. Let's go see what happened. Or let's send them something. And then you'd know which website to send them to. So the next step is to create the categories. Again, nobody's seen anything yet because you haven't sent any information out. You've only created categories and personalized your websites. Here comes the next step. If you never, ever, ever set up an automatic invitation system, better known as an autoresponder, if you never set that portion of your business up, you still, since you personalize the websites, you could send the websites out to people and put a note on it and say, Mary, go to this website, joeshoop.blank, and look at it, and I'll give you a call. I could do that. Now, she's only going to get one of those letters unless I do it again and again and again and again. That's an invitation letter that I created. But if you put her name in the autoresponder or in the contact manager and assign an autoresponder to her after you've created an autoresponder, you can say, Mary, get Mary's name and put her in and say, send her this autoresponder, meaning a letter, a set of letters that in those letters has a website that I unlocked or personalized I want her to go to. The autoresponders in our system are already set up. In other words, the invitation letters are already set up. So there's two parts to this. One, I invite people to go look with a letter. Either you make it up and do it one at a time, or you put their name in the contact manager, and then you assign an automatic invitation letter, set of letters to her, where every 3 or 4 days she gets this letter, and it also says, click on this website. Now, what website? Well, the website you unlocked. or personalized. When you personalize a website, and which means that, let's say you had a website that had a contact information area on it, and they filled it out, they automatically get a thank you letter for doing it. And 3 days later, they get another one. And 3 days later, they get another one. And 3 days later, they get another one. That's called a follow-up letter. And those letters are automatically in the system. You don't have to do anything with them. And the minute they filled out that contact area, any invitation letters that you started will stop. And now the follow-up letters will continue. They will go thanking them for doing it, thanking him again, saying, hey, take a look, and that's where you got to manage. You have to go look and see in the area of people that filled that out, what is happening to them. Are they on the second letter, the third letter, the fourth letter, the fifth letter? Has it completed the series? And you never talk to them. But the minute they filled it out, within 24 hours, you should be calling those people up and saying, I noticed that you filled out the information here and took a look at our website. I'd like to ask you a few questions. And that's where you do an interview and find out where their interest level is. So there are two parts. There's an invitation letter. Either you have to create it or you start an autoresponder where all those invitation letters are already present. Regardless of doing either one of those things, if a person goes on your website and fills out the contact manager, the follow-up letters are already there. And it keeps thanking them for doing it and giving them more information for a period of probably a month. And that will stop. The follow-up letters will stop as well. It is your job to go back in there and restart everything. Maybe you'll want to send them a different website this time. You have several custom websites and generic sites, so maybe you'll want to start something else up. But again, don't let them go. Don't stop communicating with them. We're in a communication business. So let's see if there's any questions. There's the two parts. We're at the bottom of the hour. There are two parts to this: invitation letters, then follow-up letters. Follow-up letters only occur when someone fills out the capture page. Any questions at all? Anything you want to know? I can unlock your microphone if you do it. You can talk to me. How about you, Vicky? You want to talk to me? I'm going to unlock. I think we can unlock your microphone. Shall we try it? I'll wait for her to see if we can get a response. That's what we do, people. That's the basic elements of a contact manager. But the truth is, that's first part of it. The next part is you have to learn how to speak to those people. What should I say? If I call them up and say, I noticed you filled it out, and they go, why don't you tell me all about your company? What would you do? Blab and blab and blab? What if they said, well, look, I really see this and I'd like to have a business, but I want to know how to get paid. How do I do that? What would you say? You know, this is our battle cry. This is what we talk about all the time. And if I could unlock your call, Vicky or Cindy, and talk to you about what it means to you to have the right dialogue now. I don't see anything written there, so I'm not really I don't see any answer. Here's the announcement. There is something very, very powerful coming in Tools Rock. I don't know when it will be. I just know this. You're going to see a major, major enhancement on, we're going to do a class next week on onboarding. Okay, there you go. Cindy, I'm going to unlock your phone. Let's see what happens. You have to figure out how to get here. Somehow you'll click on something and be able to talk. So talk to us when you can. And onboarding. Mark, remember we did a couple classes a couple months ago about onboarding, and we'll do that class again. Well, in other words, it means, what do you do when you bring somebody on board? I mean, what would you do? And that's the bottom line. Is that you, Vicky? I hear you. Miss Vicky, can you hear me? Yep, we're having a problem with your microphone. Can you hear me? I'm going to answer that question for you, Shirley, in a second. Let's see where we are. Okay, yeah, you must have taken yourself off. You're not on there anymore.
Now she's joined the video call. I see her on the video.
Oh, really? Let me see. Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Okay, Cindy, at the top of your at the top of the page, take your cursor and go up on the top, and you'll see a little icon. So, oops, she's gone. I think she's looking for a headset. I'm not sure she can. Can you hear us now, Cindy?
I can hear you.
All right, go ahead and at the top of your page, put your cursor towards the top of above my picture, and you'll see all these icons. Click on your camera to click it off. There you go. Okay, that's Cindy. You got it. Okay. All righty, so perfect. All right, so Cindy.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. We got you. Yeah, we're good. Perfect. All right, now, I guess when we went over this last week, and I do have to thank you for the people that have called last week and who come aboard. I want to explain something before I let you talk for a minute. But what's going to happen, which is coming soon, is a real enhancement to the communication with your new person. The onboarding we were talking about, we did a class on that, on how to onboard someone, what to do with them when they come aboard. Well, we're going to have an automated system in the back office for onboarding. It is phenomenal. I saw it today, and it's just going to be really, really special. And on top of that, let me say this about the class before we move on. Originally, this class was over $400. It was 2 parts. I don't know what the companies charged that flew me into their companies to do this class live for a Saturday afternoon. I don't know what they paid. Those people paid to do it. The company paid me. But I know that individually the classes were over $400. So we obviously, for a specific company, reduced the price. Right now, the price of it is $119.99 to take that 3-hour, 2-hour session, then a 1-hour session. Of course, I know Cindy's going to tell you how worth it is, but the bottom line is there are a number of companies who are incorporating this class into their back offices where people are going to be able to click it on and go have this class. And I can tell you now, I would heavily think about this. If you're listening in, telling people or whatever, this class is going up to $399 in those back offices for people to take. And it will no longer be available through me privately at $119. So I would, for those who are considering it, they better get it done before this gets incorporated into the back offices. And once it's there, there's nothing I can do about it. It'll be out of my control, and I won't do them privately, and I won't be able to reduce the price. So you're looking, it's going to go back to a little less than the original, which was $450. It's going to go to $399, it looks like. So I would suggest that people go get this class. It's worth, Cindy, is it worth $399?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us, again, we're going to go in a few minutes, but I want you to just tell us what your experience, what's happened to you since taking the class, the confidence level, and I know there was a time you didn't even want to be on this call, and here you are jumping onto the call with no problems now. But that being said, talking to people and your experience now with the education.
My confidence is a lot better. I can actually talk to people personally, but with the leads I purchase, Shepherd is my upline, and we have a system going. And in the last week, I have talked to several people and put 2 in my business today.
Wow. Wow. So what happens with your dialogue with them? Are you now be able to talk to them and have confidence, or are you still nervous?
I'd be lying to say I wasn't nervous, but I usually try to have the script somewhere close by, and I read that script. They ask a question, I have the answers all lined up from the script.
Good. Perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto. So it's working for you. And I'm just happy because I can hear the difference in your confidence level from 2 months ago than today. I can tell you that. I hear that all over. But again, this takes time. This isn't something you take the class and you're a whiz. Cindy and a handful of people practice together. They practice together every week. They go in and role play so they get more and more comfortable with these scripts. Eventually, what will happen is she'll be able to be driving down the road, get a phone call, and there'll be no script there, and she'll be able to do that. There's no doubt in my mind. She already does it. She's being a little modest right now because there's plenty of times we talk, and she knows right off the bat what the answers are to the questions I ask her. So, yes, I still agree that everybody should have the scripts in front of them, but the scripts, are they a little different from what you learned in the past years?
There was no script. You just failed to win. And most of the time I failed. I could not talk any products. I would take them, but I could not sell them because I didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
With this, it's just working for me.
Cindy's purchasing leads from Tools Rock, which is they have leads that have already been. Now we heard about surveyed leads, but when she gets her leads, it has a name of the people that actually surveyed them from the call center and the questions that they asked and so on. So these people are kind of ready. They're listening to other people as well. They're not specific to her. A couple of other companies get those leads, but she gets on them right away. Shepard gives them a call, talks to them. Cindy follows up with them, gets them in the system, and then onboards them properly, which is get them to Tools Rock, get them, talk to them about the class. And you better talk to these people about this class because honestly, it's not going to change. It's going to go up to $399.
Okay.
So either way, I'm just really excited about your progress. I'm flabbergasted that you brought 2 new people in today, so that's fantastic. Perfect. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, Mark, that's where we are. I mean, people need to understand what a marketing tool. I think most people don't understand their marketing tool, and that's really what they need to do. They need to manage the tool now.
Well, you'll find that the marketing system will do a lot of the work for you. And again, when you have the communication class, it'll give you the right terminology that'll make sense, that makes it easy. And Cindy is a good example of that. 2 people today, maybe she couldn't do that without the communication class because she didn't have the confidence, but she has it now. And it's not, it's not a problem because you have the script there, because you keep doing it and keep doing it, eventually becomes like second nature to you. It just becomes a part of you, and you can eventually just do it without the script, and it even flows even more natural.
Yeah. Listen, when I started many years ago with it, I mean, these scripts were built from, all the leaders that I was surrounded with, and, I mean, certainly I had to use scripts. I mean, it was clear, and sometimes now I pull the scripts out. In fact, when I call people now, I go to the second page. One of the companies we're with, Mark, I go to the second page of the website. It tells us the company background, how it works, the referral income, and I have answers right in front of me. Even on a director call, I'll do that. So with that, we'll pick this up next week. Good news is Jennifer Ashby is joining us next week on the Breakfast Club evening session from Tools Rock. She's going to come in and even talk about onboarding and the importance of the marketing system. So get people to get there and listen to Jennifer Ashby. You'll be very, very pleased to hear. This is one of the smartest people in all of networking. So with that, thanks for being here, Cindy. Mark, as always, pleasure to be with you. And we'll see you again next week at the Breakfast Club evening session. Just, go to work. Go find the interested parties who want to manage a business from home. So with that, as Mark always says, peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you next week at the Breakfast Club evening session. Have a great night.
All right. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.